Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And what I'm about to tell y'all is not an April Fool's joke, but it's the truth. You may have noticed it yourself in your hometown, your city, your state, your country. But I'm speaking on America right now. And you may be experiencing it yourself. You may have been this way for a long time, or you may be recently finding yourself in this position. Homeless. Right now in America, it's not being dealt with, reported on enough. But we have a homeless epidemic in America. Homelessness is spreading like wildfire. Let me repeat that. We have a homeless epidemic in America. Homelessness is spreading like wildfire. I told y'all at one point in time in my life, I was homeless back in the 90s. And through the grace of God, I haven't found myself homeless since then, but yes, I have, and I'll explain how. Now, I'm going to go over some pointers with y'all, some points, and then we're going to discuss it. Homelessness hit record highs in 2024. It rose 32.5% from 2022 to 2024. That's almost a 50% increase in homelessness in 2 years. And it jumped 18% just last year. That's almost 20%. In 2024, the number rose to a reported 770,000. That's the reported homeless. In other words, the ones you see out there on Skid Row and sleeping in tent cities and on the side of the road, living in the woods under bridges. When we think of homeless, that's what we normally think about. But there's a silent homeless. I'll tell you what silent homelessness is right now. We have an epidemic of silent homelessness. As we tend to think of when we think of homeless people, like I just said, the guy laying out on the side of the road, the guy sleeping on the bridge, tent city, Skid Row, on the underpass or what have you. Well, that's the same thing as the bridge. But that's what we tend to think of when we think of homelessness. We think of old people. But we have an epidemic of silent homelessness. The ones that are not reported in these numbers. These numbers say 770,000 just in 2024. That's just the ones you see out there on the side of the road. It also says nearly 150,000 children experienced homelessness at least once in 2024. That's a 33% jump from 2023. In other words, homelessness is spreading like wildfire. It's increasing at a rapid pace. But let's talk about that word I just gave y'all. Silent homeless. The people that you don't see out on side the road, sleeping under a bridge, under an overpass, in tent city. Let's talk about them. See, now we have homeless people And let me give you another definition. Homeless is when. It ain't just when you sleeping out on the side of the road. It's not just when you sleeping under a bridge. That's one version of homeless that we all think of when we think homeless. But there's another form of homelessness that has skyrocketed, that's booming. The other version of homeless is when, all right, first of all, homeless is when you don't have a place of your own to live. So that can mean sleeping on the road, under a bridge, or sleeping at a friend's house, sleeping at your mom's house, your parents, and you're an adult, sleeping at your girlfriend's house, and you're a grown man, sleeping at your boyfriend's house, you're a grown woman, you homeless, sleeping in your car, your van, you're homeless. And we've seen a drastic increase in that type of homelessness. There's millions of people in America right now that don't have their own place. I ain't talking about buying a home, own a home. I mean their own place, like they name on this. This is mine. My own apartment, they living with somebody. Maybe helping out on the rent, what have you, but they can't afford to have their own place. You homeless. If you're having to live with somebody else for any reason, and it's not your own, you homeless. One exception, if you roommates and both of y'all names on the lease. But other than that, y'all went into that situation, but that's not what I'm talking about. There are people that have lost their place, can no longer afford to keep their place, or can't afford to get a place in the beginning. So you having to go live with somebody because you can't afford to live on your own. And you having to move in with somebody until you can do better. You homeless. We have a homeless epidemic going on right now. We have a whole segment of population of people called van life. People living out of their cars. People you're working with right now. And you probably don't even know they sleep in their car every night. Take showers at the truck stop. And you don't even know it. If you're a man living with a woman right now, at her crib, my girl, I live with my old lady, you homeless. Now let's look at some of the reasons why, which is obvious. The number one reason they give is the lack of affordable housing. You can't afford the rent. We're not talking about homeless alcoholics and drunks and dope fiends. We ain't talking about that. I should have stated that earlier. We're not talking about the traditional homeless addict or a mentally ill person. We're talking about somebody that might have had a place 6 months ago. Somebody who still got a job, still gainfully employed, no bad habits. But they can't afford the rent. Ain't nobody showing you no mercy and no pity nowadays. Well, I gonna let you move in for $200 a month. I know I wanted $1,200 a month, but since you don't make but minimum wage or $8, $9 an hour, I gonna let you move in. It's serious, and it's getting worse. Are you next? Or you barely hanging on by a string your damn self? Because just as I gave you the number of the people that are already homeless, there are millions of people on the verge of being homeless their damn self. Because we have a homeless epidemic sweeping the nation. So we have millions of people already homeless, and we got millions of more on the verge of being homeless. Any day now. Y'all know who you are. You know who you are. You sleeping in your car right now. You know who you are. You sleeping in a van right now. You know who you are. You having to crash out on a friend's couch. And you know who you are. You 40, 50 years old. You had to move back in with your parents. At 40. Your parents senior citizens. And you got to move in. Homeless in America has become an epidemic. And I ain't talking about a bunch of sorry losers. I ain't talking about a bunch of lazy bums. I'm talking about hard-working, prideful, believe in having their own Americans. Can't afford a roof over their head. Imagine what that does to your pride. See, when I was homeless, it didn't bother me. I didn't have no pride. I was mad, not at myself. I was mad at Gwen for putting me out. See, I ain't had no pride. I was still blaming other folks. See, wasn't nothing wrong with me. So I ain't had no pride. Hey, I'm good. You folk, I thought we was in love. You said you love me. How you put me out because I ain't got no money? I can't help you with the bills. So my situation was different back then. I had no pride. I was sorry. I was lazy. But the people that I'm talking about today, that's homeless, the new homeless, the silent homeless, and the people that are about to be homeless. No, y'all ain't like me. Y'all ain't like I was. See, it's going to bother you. It's going to hurt you. It hurts you because you ain't sorry. You ain't lazy. And you got a job. Maybe 2 or 3 of them, and you still homeless. You having to go to work every day. Listening to your coworkers talk about what they're going to do when they go home. And you think about where you're going to take a shower at tonight. Where you going to park at to sleep tonight because you don't want to be seen in the same spot over and over again. And people game to hate. Ain't that such a... She been coming parked there every night. She homeless. So now you got to find different parking spots around the city to park that's safe and won't nobody bother you for trespassing and all that type of stuff. But you at work every day listening to your coworkers talking about what they're going to do when they get home. And you ain't got none of y'all on the same job. Well, Big Ward, if they're on the same job, why they can't afford a place? Maybe they got help. Or maybe they're calling themselves going home and they homeless too and just don't know it. Maybe the co-workers are still staying with their mom and they got a problem with it. Maybe the co-workers have somebody called Dice crashing on. And you just don't know it. You at work thinking you're the only one homeless because the people you work with got a roof over their head right now, but you're not knowing it's not their roof. Your co-worker staying with her or his brother, a cousin, a mom, a friend, or Mr. Willie Earl. And I want to say this to y'all that find yourself in this situation right now. And you know you're doing the best you can. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. And don't give up. No, ain't nothing wrong with you. You giving it your all. Now you're a lazy bum sitting around there working, ain't talking about you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're not alone. Times are hard as fuck right now. This is ridiculous. This is not normal. You are part of a growing segment of our population called the silent, working homeless. You are not alone. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep going. Keep trying. Just keep going. Keep trying. That's all I can tell you. But just remember this. You're not alone. Hold your head up. Do the best you can. We got some trying times coming up. They already here. They're getting worse. We got to walk. Natural disasters. A previous administration that flooded our country with illegal immigrants. They drove up housing prices. They drove down housing availability. Well, a lot of times you may have the money to be able to afford a house and can't find one not available. Welcome to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. We're picking up where we left off in 2024. Get it, got it, good. Bye.